Your first 30 days with an infrared sauna, the beginner routine that actually works. Welcome back to the Certified Saunas podcast. This is SaunaCast episode 10. I'm your host, Matt Justice. Today's episode is for anyone who just bought a sauna or is about to. Because one of the biggest questions I get is this: I just got my sauna. We're installing it in the house. Now what? I tried it for the first time. Should I use it every day? How long do you stay in? Should you take binders right away? Does everyone need binders? What if you feel weird after the first few sessions? What do I do next? The truth is, your first 30 days with a sauna matters a lot to the longevity of your routine and your overall health outcomes. This is when your body kind of adapts to heat. Your detox pathways are going to wake up and you start building a routine that will either stick or fade away. I would prefer the former. So today I'm going to walk you through a simple, effective 30-day beginner sauna routine, or at least a framework to think about it that I've seen work for thousands of people. Let's get right into it. So let's set a couple of intentions throughout this, shall we? So we have a framework to work off of. Your goal for the first 30 days. The biggest mistake that I see beginners make is going too hard too fast. I was also guilty of this. But less is more, especially when you're starting out, for you to feel for how your body responds. People buy a sauna, they get excited, they jump in it for 45 minutes every single day. And within a week, they feel exhausted. They don't even know that they're dehydrated. Now they're getting discouraged. They're wondering if they should have, saved their money for something else, or if this was even for them. The real truth that's happening here that you don't understand is that your body needs time to adapt. Okay. Think about it like starting a workout routine. If you haven't exercised in years, you wouldn't start with a 2-hour workout straight every single day, would you? You wouldn't be able to recover. Your body just wouldn't make it. Your nervous system would be tapped. Your energy would be drained, and your body just can't catch up. Heat adaptation is very similar. The goal of your first 30 days really is heat adaptation. So you're teaching your body how to regulate heat, improve circulation, activate, sweat glands, support detox pathways. These are things that it does automatically, but now you're supporting all the systems in a way that upregulates and makes it more efficient. So instead of thinking of intensity, the focus should really be consistency and comfort, a routine that you can actually sustain, because that's what's going to make a difference for your health long term, not how hot you can go or how many times this week. Think of it as lifestyle. 20 years from now, how many sessions have we done? That's how we should be thinking about it. So week 1 is all about introducing your body to sauna heat. Your sessions should be shorter and easier. I want you to take the low and slow approach, especially if you're health challenged like I was. Here's a simple structure: 3 sessions during the week, however you can fit them in. My preference, if you have any type of health challenges or you're not super fit, is that you don't sauna any 2 days in a row, meaning every other day. So that if it tires you out, or if this or if that, we're not taxing your system in a way that we don't even realize because we don't know how you respond yet. So the simple structure is the 3 sessions during the week, however you fit them in, 15 to 20 minutes per session. Don't worry, we'll crank it up later when you're used to it. Temperature around 120 and 130. Temperature, a lot of people get confused about this. There is a thermostat system in all infrared saunas. Actually, I'll show you in another video because I've got so many saunas behind me. We could just grab the camera. I'll go in there and show you. When you have a thermostat system and you use a particular setting on the control panel, that's really not ideal, because once it reaches the set temperature, the thermostat will trigger the relay and it'll shut the heaters down. What you want to do is crack the door or use the roof vent or some other way to keep the temperature to your desired temp, and leave the sauna set to max 100% of the time, so that as the temperature and everything is working with your body, as your body starts to heat up, as your core temperature starts to increase, we don't want to stop that process from happening and have the heaters kick off. They're off for 2 minutes. Now they cycle back on once the sauna cools down, thermostat's triggered. It's like the AC in your house or the heat, right? What we want is even-keeled, consistent radiant heat the entire time. So I can tell you what I do, and I would suggest that you mimic it. I walk up to the sauna. I set it to the max temp. I set it for 60 minutes. I walk away for 20, 25 minutes. I go make my water. I'll go for a walk. I'll do my electrolytes. I'll get my sauna towels ready. I'll just have all the prep done. When I come back to the sauna, I don't touch anything. The only thing that I'll do is add time if it's a weird number and I say, I want to do a 25-minute session today. I'll put 25 minutes on the clock. Doesn't matter exactly what the temperature is. The sauna is halfway preheated. I'll jump in, right? So now I'm not adjusting the temperature because I only want it 135 today. I'm going to wait until it gets 135 and then I'm going to crack the door. I'm going to leave it set to 140, or I'm going to leave it set above the temperature that I actually want. And the sauna's heaters will stay on 100% of the time. You don't need it any hotter than that, but what you do need is the radiant heat the entire time. You want that directed at your tissues. You don't want it cycling off and on. This is why some people think their sauna doesn't work right or that it's broken. Before your sauna session, if you have health challenges, if you have leaky gut or you feel any type of Herxheimer reaction or you don't feel well, you feel bad after a sauna session, try taking a small single compound binder like activated charcoal, bentonite clay, zeolite, or something like that. Just one gentle binder, not all the time. Just give it a chance. This helps catch toxins that get mobilized during sweating. If you need it, most healthy people should do a little bit of sauna. As long as they feel fine, you don't necessarily need to cram binders down your throat. Wait and do a detox protocol that's targeted, later on once you're used to the sauna. That's the right way to do it. The reason that I throw this in there now is because some people that do have health challenges are concerned about maybe having bad reactions or not feeling great or not sweating well or, complications here and there. You always want to know that there's support for those things, but not everybody needs it. During this sauna session, what you want to do is keep yourself as relaxed as possible. You want to focus on breathing slowly. You want to focus on keeping your nervous system relaxed. You're not trying to prove anything. You're not trying to stay in longer than you need to. And after the sauna, you want to drink electrolytes. You want to rinse off in the shower. You want to pay attention to how you feel later that day and the next morning. So some people feel energized immediately. Others feel a little bit tired. Both are normal during the first week. It all depends on how your body responds. I've experienced both myself. Your body is learning, and we're also learning about your body, and we'll adjust the sauna sessions to match. So week 2 is going to be about increasing consistency though. In week 2, your body has a little more heat tolerance, right? You have some sessions under your belt. You're not as nervous. You can pay really close attention to how's your body responding to this level of heat therapy, right? Now you can increase frequency slightly, or you can increase temperature a little bit. Try this. 4 sessions per week, 20 to 25 minutes per session. Temperature, anywhere from 130 to 145. You go up to 150 if you want to. Really don't need any more than that. I find myself having the sweet spot somewhere between 133 and about 144. If I do a session at those temperatures for 20 or 30 minutes, I am absolutely drenched. My heart rate is increased. We're checking it, with a monitor. Sometimes I'll run a binder for a week or two. And so now you start paying attention to the patterns. What I'm describing that I do for myself is exactly what I want you to do. Notice, keep a little journal. Are you sleeping better? Right? Do you sweat sooner? Most of the time, what happens is when somebody first starts using their sauna, they really don't sweat that well in the beginning. Next thing they know, they don't even realize it. All of a sudden, they're sweating faster. They're sweating more deeply. They're having river sweat quicker. And is your body relaxing faster when you sit down? You should be less nervous when you get in the sauna. You should know what the expectations are. Your nervous system, you should have a little practice at relaxing. So these small changes are going to tell you that your nervous system and your body is adapting well to this level of heat therapy. Now, if you are not doing well, I suggest you join the Certified Sauna Community, our Facebook group. And if you need support, post in there and I will help you. Otherwise, if you're overdoing it, you're going to know. Right? If I do squats too many days in the gym, I'm absolutely zonked the next day because I'm not allowing my body to recover and I'm hitting the same muscle groups multiple times in the week before recovery or before repair has completed, right? Sauna session can be much the same. If you're taxing your energetic centers and you're tired all the time after sauna or the morning, after, you're just doing too much. You need to back off a little bit and give your body a chance to adapt a little bit more before you crank that up. Low and slow approach always. Week 3, this is going to be about deepening your routine. So by week 3, most people start noticing the real benefits. Really it takes up to 6 months for this to truly occur, but sweat should come quicker. Muscles relax easier. Unless you're drinking too much or you're not paying attention to, having 3 to 4 liters of water if you're doing a lot of sweating. If you're training or exercising or working out or bike riding or anything like that, in addition to sauna, you got to be mindful here. You want to replace those electrolytes, those minerals. If you have any vitamin or mineral deficiencies, obviously this would be a compounding problem for that. So this week in week 3, your routine is going to look like 4 to 5 sauna sessions. If you can do it. I don't maintain this though. You're welcome to try it. I don't think anyone really needs more than 5 sauna sessions a week. In fact, I think you're pushing it. If I get 3 week in and week out for the majority of the year, I'm pretty good. If I can get 4 every now and then, fine, but I don't really aim for that. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't try it though, because we have people in our group who sauna every single day or 6 days a week or something like that. And they've been doing it for a couple of years. They had a chance to build up. They lost a bunch of weight. Their fitness has improved. Their cardio is excellent. and they stay in 30 minutes to an hour. And this is, what works for them. Temperature for week 3 can move it up a little bit. Be in the 140s, see how you respond. If that's uncomfortable to you, back it down. You don't need to push past 30 minutes unless you feel unless you feel amazing doing it. Because remember, consistency is going to beat marathon sessions. You burn yourself out with marathon session, it's going to mess up the whole cadence, and you kind of need to start the routine over so that you can just slowly adapt and gain some momentum. So week 4 is going to be locking in the habit. All right. Week 4 is where sauna starts becoming part of your lifestyle. Your body knows what to expect. Mentally, you know what the expectations are. You sit down, you start sweating quickly in your sessions. Your nervous system and your breathing is able to relax, and you're not, catching your breath or doing anything crazy, not cracking the door and sticking your head out whenever you need a break. You've learned where your threshold is. If your body gets a little bit too hot, you don't necessarily have to stop the session, but you do need to crack the door, get some fresh air, let your temperature, your core temp reset, and do another few more minutes. If that's too much for you that day, session's over. You need to develop this flexibility and understanding where your body is at for this and act accordingly. And always hydration. I mean, hydration really starts the days before. Everyone wants to pound a liter of water packed with, liquid IV or something 20 minutes before the session. Great, but it's too late, right? It's going to start way, way, way before that. The biggest victory here isn't like detox. It isn't high temperature. It isn't how many sauna sessions you can do in a week. It's habit formation. Because in the group, there's 45,000 people in there, and I've had the pleasure of watching them for 3+ years now. So my 30,000 foot overview of what everyone goes through, and I'm doing it myself, sometimes successfully, sometimes not. I go through months of blocks of time where I don't sauna at all, and I go back to it, and I'm looking and I'm adjusting, and I'm like, okay, what's better in my life? Is it worth the time investment? Is it this? Is it that? Every single time, I just show up better. I'm better in my life if I just get 3 sauna sessions a week. It could be a bunch of things. Everyone has a theory on what this is. I think it's a couple of buckets that are grouped together, like 1, taking time for yourself. Sauna is dumping stress out of your body. We live busy lives. We really don't slow down. Not everybody has a meditation practice. I notice that I'm just better. I'm more on. My sleep is deeper. Blood pressure is lower. A lot of cognitive benefits, more relaxed, brain seems sharper. But is that due to the actual, heat therapy itself? Or is it because the heat therapy is reducing stress and I'm sleeping better? And that in turn, I don't think anyone can tell you definitively that, 14% of your benefit is from this part and 17% of the benefit is from this part. And I'm not so sure we even need to know those minute details. We just need to know a little system that works, that we can repeat, that will improve our life. That's the goal. So habit formation, because the people who benefit most from this, in my own life as a reflection of this, they're the ones who keep doing it for months and years. They're not the ones who, I did the highest temperature, I did the most amount of sessions in the week, I sauna every day for twice a day, and And then 4 years from now, they're like, oh, I don't really use that thing anymore. You know what I mean? Let's do some Q&A real quick. Should I sauna every day as a beginner? You can, but you don't have to. I recommend 3 or 4 sessions per week. No sauna 2 days in a row back to back. I recommend every other day for beginners. Why don't I sweat that much yet, Matt? Sweat glands often need time to activate. Stay consistent. Sweating improves with regular use. So there's a lot of people out there who are health challenged and they don't sweat anyway. So the idea that you're going to stick yourself in a sauna without addressing that or giving some adaptation time is a little unrealistic. So question number 3, can I bring my phone or laptop into the sauna? Well, yeah. I recommend leaving devices outside. Sauna time is a chance to unplug and relax. If you want to listen to music, I film videos half the time for you guys, in my sessions. You've got anywhere from 8 to 20 minutes, depending on how hot it is, before the electronics overheat. Does it do something to them, long term? I don't know. They say that it does, but I haven't noticed anything other than the overheat. I say go for it. What if I feel tired after a sauna session? So this is key. You really want to pay attention to this. You want to reduce the session length a little bit, slightly, and then increase hydration, increase rest period, and increase electrolytes if you're dehydrated at all. So this is very important, where a lot of people get into a rhythm of, man, I'm just too busy throughout the week. I got to pick up the kids. I got a job. I got to tend to family. I got to do this. And they try and cram all the sauna sessions in on the weekend. It's too much, too quick for your body. You have to break it up. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news here, but it just is what it is. You need more recovery time in between the sessions until you get more heat adapted. So long-term routines. After your first 30 days, we'll do follow-up videos for more advanced stuff. This is just to get your feet wet. There's situational differences. You have to realize there's flexibility built into this routine. This is not set in stone. for any two people, right? This is a general guideline. And I need feedback from you in order to give you the real optimized routine. We're going to do that in the Facebook group, but it's going to be examples from real world, people's experiences and their individual needs, because you're going to say something to me like, Matt, I've been dealing with Lyme disease. I've been worried that I should do sauna, but I'm concerned that it's going to make my fatigue worse. And, this is my situation. I live in an apartment. I'm this size, I have this electrical, this is my budget, blah, 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 blah. We're going to make sure you have equipment that actually works well for your situation. But then we're also going to approach this a little differently, because most people that have had Lyme disease or are dealing with some specific health challenge, they've got some type of lab work. We have some type of basis to go off of. And I might change a few things in this example specifically to match your individual needs, because I might drop the temperature down. I might say for the first week, you're only going to sauna 5 to 10 minutes. And some people think that's ridiculous. For some people, you won't even sweat. But that doesn't mean that your body won't start getting used to the infrared. It'll start getting used to the heat therapy. You'll start that heat adaptation in a low and slow approach that is so gentle, but it's what that person needs. On the contrary, you come to me and you say, Matt, I train 5 days a week. I'm a triathlete. I do marathons, I do halves, I do this, I do that. We figure out something that works for you, and we're probably going to crank this example up a little, right? Not going to take it as easy. We're going to adjust a few things, but in the opposite direction. Probably going to hit you with a little more heat, probably going to hit you with a little bit more time, probably hit you with a little bit more frequency, because your body is already primed for it. We will save, the exact protocol stuff that I would do if I were in that situation for those intended examples. But the foundation is always going to stay the same. Let's wrap this up for today. If you're new to sauna use, here's your challenge. Commit to 3 sessions this week. Nothing extreme, just consistent. Write down how you feel after each session. Monitor your energy, your sleep, your mood that day and the days thereafter. That awareness alone is going to change how you approach your health. And many people have gone on to lose tons of weight because this is the catalyst that gets them to do other lifestyle and diet modification with wonderful results. Next week in episode 11, we're going to talk about something pretty fascinating. Why sauna feels so good. The brain chemistry behind heat therapy. We're diving into endorphins, dopamine, stress hormones, and why people literally get addicted to sauna sessions or dedicate their life's work, in this sector. So until next time, I'm Matt Justice, reminding you, sweat smarter, not harder.